for me, and to be here with you all in the heart of Manchester this Friday morning at the end of, a fairly big week is just everything to me, because it's almost exactly 35 years since I left this city as a recently graduated young man. Couldn't find a job in the city. It was in a pretty bad place at that time, it's fair to say. This is as the 80s have turned into the 90s. There wasn't much. And that really is an experience that I've never forgotten. My generation of people growing up here, and it's true of places all over the country, to get on in life you had to leave where you were because things weren't here. And the country's always been a little like that, hasn't it? That opportunity has not been evenly spread around the country, and not all places have felt that they're part of the national story. And that is what this government is going to work every single day to change. And that is what Number 10 North is all about. Putting power in every postcode so that people can turn things around for themselves and make changes, just as this great city has done and the other English cities are doing through devolution. Turning things around because of that ability to be able to do more for themselves. And it's also about getting the whole country facing the same way and then pulling in the same direction.
This is the untold story of power, access, and the silent machinery shifting the balance of Great Britain. Welcome to Britain Underneath, where we peel back the polished veneer of Westminster to uncover the real mechanics driving our nation today. Before we jump straight in, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel right now. Your support keeps this independent coverage alive and helps us bring you the raw, unvarnished truth every single week. So hit that button and let us plunge into the heart of the matter.
That, I think, is what Number 10 North can achieve. It's felt a little at times that local government's just been a bit forgotten and places aren't able to do what they want to do. But then at the sort of city level or the regional level, sometimes it's felt like an argument with people in the centre of government and people having a to and fro all of the time. Just imagine if we were all working together as one team, pulling the same way and making the change happen for people and places. I think we can do that. In fact, I feel we've got to do that. If we want to take Britain from where it is right now, and I think we all have a feeling that it's not fully where it should be right now. If we want to get it back to where it should be, it's got to be about that one team feeling. That all of the places around the UK and all of our regions, in all of our nations, because Number 10 North is as much for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland as it is for the regions of England. If we get that feeling, then I think so much is possible that doesn't feel possible right now. And we can really get the energy flowing right around the country. I'm really pleased, and he's hiding, but maybe he should come and join me if he doesn't mind. I'm really pleased that our new Chancellor of the Exchequer is here today. John, are you blending in today, or are you... I know it sounds like it was woe is me, we've had such a hard week, but we were in a pub together yesterday, weren't we? Rating pub snacks, which didn't look like quite hard work. But it's brilliant that you're here, John, and next to John is our first Secretary of State, Louise Haigh. And that, I hope, is sending a message to everybody here who has come into Number 10 North in its early days, that you've got the full support of the government from the very top. Prime Minister, Chancellor, First Secretary of State. That's a very powerful message that we're sending today. That the political commitment is there. This isn't about government working in its old way. It's about the Treasury, Number 10, close together, the heart of government, then driving the same mission from here right out into all parts of the country. And I'm delighted the Cabinet Secretary is here too today. Antonia, thank you for everything you have done to make today possible.
When a Prime Minister stands in the rain or behind a mahogany podium in Whitehall, the narrative is carefully curated. We are told where power resides. We are shown the grand facades of Downing Street, the historic corridors of Parliament, and the ancient rituals of statecraft. But power in modern Britain is fluid, restless, and increasingly weary of traditional geographic constraints. The recent opening of a northern outpost for the executive branch in Manchester has split political commentary straight down the middle. To the casual observer, it is presented as a masterstroke of decentralisation, a genuine attempt to rewire a country that has for centuries leaned far too heavily toward the southeast. To the cynics sitting in London newsrooms and opposition benches, it is dismissed as little more than an expensive photo opportunity designed to soothe regional egos.
Because I also want to get the culture right, the relationship right between politicians and our brilliant civil servants, and then everyone feeling that they're all in the same. We're all in the same game together, and we're all working together, and we're all working hard to support each other. That's what this is all about. So it's a wonderful moment. I need to thank Caroline, former Chief Executive now of the Greater Manchester Combined Authority, who's done so much to make today possible. But what I already see as I look round and see some of the faces from my old world, it does feel like the boundaries are breaking down a little, and we're sort of coming in together and starting to kind of knit in together, and then really get going and getting the growth going, the good growth going in every part of the country. And I mean it when I say every postcode, everybody. That's what we've got to do. Nowhere forgotten, everywhere feeling heard, everyone with a sense that their place can be more than it is today. High streets lifted around the country, Britain re-industrialised, getting those good jobs back into all of our regions. We've got such an opportunity, everybody, ahead of us. I said I wanted to get Britain believing again. Today is a day where we hopefully can really build that sense, get Britain hoping again. I think we can do that together if we carry on working in this way. So it is such an amazing moment for me. It's everything I believe in, everything I've spent my whole life working towards. You know, a country that really does feel together, feel that all parts are involved and making their contribution.
Yet, to understand what is truly happening, you have to look beneath the surface optics. A second hub of government is not merely about moving civil servants onto trains or hosting cabinet meetings away from SW1. It is a fundamental shift in access. For decades, local authorities, regional mayoralties, and northern industrial leaders had to make the pilgrimage down the M1 or the West Coast Main Line just to plead their case for basic infrastructure funding. The dynamic was inherently unequal, framed always as a petitioner asking Whitehall for permission to thrive. By placing senior ministers, central treasury officials, and key decision-makers in the heart of the North, the psychological dynamic changes entirely.
Number 10 North is going to take that up to the next level. Make no mistake, I just want to finish on this point. There'll be many voices out there, I can hear them all already, often London-based, but not exclusively. You know, they like to say, oh, this will just be another, the new levelling up, or another sort of short-lived gimmick. And they'll also, I mean, they are saying, what's it going to cost? But I'm just going to say something now that I'm going to say in the meetings later. You know, what does it cost for everybody to troop down to London every time there's a meeting when you need to make an argument about something? What does that cost? So actually, isn't it better that we have a North Pole that balances the South Pole of our country, where power will always be concentrated, but at least it creates that sense of a more balanced country, and that big things can be done from here. But this is the place where kind of Whitehall meets the rest of the country. I've called it the nerve centre for a rewired Britain. or if you think about it in terms of the day-to-day kind of challenge around growth, it will be the situation room for growth, where we all get around the table, mayors with all of the team and the Whitehall department, so we get those decisions made more quickly, we break through the logjams, and we get things done. So it is much more profound, I think, than people have worked out so far. It's not just a new office. Through this place, power is going to flow, energy is going to flow, new ideas are going to come through. The regions are going to play back their ambitions here, and the team is then going to say, right, we're behind you, we're going to make them work. That is a different way of running Britain. That is what I'm committed to do as Prime Minister, and I'm so grateful to everybody for making this day happen at the end of my first week. And now let's get to work, everybody. Thanks so much.
Take a quick breath. Stay informed, and if you are enjoying this deep dive into the nation's political shifting plates, make sure to subscribe to Britain Underneath. It takes just 1 second, but it makes an enormous difference to our small team and allows us to keep pushing past the superficial soundbites. What we are witnessing is a battle for the soul of British governance. The centralisation of authority in London was not an accident of history. It was a deliberate structural choice that dictated where capital flowed, where talent remained, and whose voices were amplified in the national conversation. When decisions about regional transport, housing developments, and green industrial projects are made thousands of miles away from the communities they directly impact, policy failure is almost guaranteed. Moving the situation room closer to the reality on the ground forces a level of accountability that simply cannot be replicated from a desk overlooking St James's Park.
New Prime Minister Andy Burnham in number 10 in the north there, speaking to staff. Our political correspondent Lucy McDade joins us from Manchester. Lucy, give us a sense of the atmosphere there, but also, importantly, Andy Burnham just called this where Whitehall meets the rest of the country. He's really pinning his premiership on this new plan, a new way of working. A lot of detractors, though, say it's just a gimmick. How genuine is it, and how much is riding on this for him?
Well, firstly, a lot is riding on it, but on the point about atmosphere, interestingly, actually, as the morning has gone on, more and more people walking through this square in Manchester have stopped, taking photos, genuinely seem quite invested in this idea of number 10 North. Of course, the majority, if not all of the people here, know Andy Burnham from his time as Mayor of Greater Manchester, so want to see what he's going to achieve inside this building behind me. On the point about what is hinging on this, well, an awful lot. Andy Burnham has really made this a flagship part of his premiership. Politicians have spoken a long time about devolution, pushing powers out of Westminster, but Andy Burnham has made it one of his
Of course, the establishment does not yield control easily. The political pushback has been immediate and predictably sharp. Critics argue that fragmenting the core of government breeds inefficiency, inflates public expenditure, and creates geographic rivalries within the cabinet itself. There are legitimate questions about whether this new northern nerve centre will possess genuine teeth, or if major fiscal levers will remain firmly locked inside the Treasury in London. But dismissing the move entirely ignores the growing political appetite across the country for a system that actually reflects the modern United Kingdom rather than an outdated central empire. Stay with us until the very end as we connect these final political dots, because the implications of this shift extend far beyond party politics or individual careers. If this experiment succeeds, it fundamentally alters how policy is crafted for generations to come. If it fails, it will serve as a cautionary tale about the limits of administrative reform in a deeply centralised state.
If you value sharp, uncompromising analysis that cuts through the political noise, please consider subscribing to Britain Underneath today. It truly helps our channel grow, allowing us to produce more high-quality content for viewers who prefer depth over drama. Thank you for watching. Keep questioning what lies beneath, and we will see you right back here for the next revelation.